Good morning, everybody. Buongiorno. Assalamu alaikum, and welcome to this webinar, web forum on Italy and Pakistan industrial cooperation. I am Ahmed Scarpa. I am the director of ITA Dubai office, which is the office in charge also for Pakistan. And we organized the Italian Trade Agency together with the Embassy of Pakistan in Italy. We organized this webinar today in order to explore more opportunities of cooperation between these two countries, these two markets. Why? Pakistan is the second largest South Asian country. It represents 15% of regional GDP, has a great manufacturing vocation, is the third largest labor market in the world with a huge availability of commodities. On the other side, we have Italy that has a lot to share as ninth world exporter and second manufacturer among the EU countries. So a lot of things have been done, even with the cooperation of the Ministry of Foreign Affairs and the Ministry of Economic Development of Italy and the Italian Trade Agency, together with the association. So today we will have two main associations of Italy that already are cooperating on the field there in Pakistan with their counterpart. But there is still a lot to share, wide margins of cooperation to be shared. And so we will describe today what we did up to now and how we did it. And we try to identify new win-win opportunities. Our guest today, from Rome, we will have the pleasure to have the president of Italian Trade Agency, Mr. Carlo Ferro, and Director General Roberto Luongo, and the embassy and the ambassador of Pakistan in Italy. And then in Islamabad, in Pakistan, we will have the ambassador of Italy to Pakistan, and in Milan, the presidents of the two associations that I said before, ASSOMAC and ACIMIT, and also our ITA desk for Pakistan in Karachi. So I immediately give the floor to our president, the president of Italian Trade Agency, Mr. Carlo Ferro, and I ask you to turn on your microphone and camera. Prego, Presidente, a lei.
Grazie, Dr. Scarpa. Good morning and good afternoon, everyone. His Excellency, the Ambassador of Ferrarese, His Excellency, the Ambassador Saleem, the Secretary, Mr. Mangi, the Secretary, Mrs. Mahzar, the Secretary General, Mr. Farooq, the authoritative representative of ASSOMAC and ACIMIT, and all speakers and participants. I am really glad to virtually welcome in Rome. We are at the Italian Trade Agency premises for a webinar, which is first of all an opportunity to salute the excellent relationships among our countries and the respective institutions. I wish really to thank Mr. Mangi and Mrs. Mahzar for their presence today, but more importantly for the fruitful work and the cooperation of their respective organization with the Italian Trade Agency, which led to this opportunity today. Unfortunately, we are not able to meet personally today, but I'm confident that ACIMIT technology will make it a successful meeting. And to go to the subject, Italy is, in our opinion, the ideal partner for the smart and sustainable development of economies. And Pakistan is a giant in manufacturing, ranking globally the 4th in textile and the 7th for footwear. It's a huge potential for your country to increase the export, but production faces a strong international competition in cost and in quality and innovation. The adoption of Italian leading-edge technology can help to increase productivity while increasing the quality and improving the added value. Training operators to use at its best potential those machinery is a prerequisite to reach this objective. Italian machinery makers are well known for innovation and the ability to customize solutions to the customer's specification. And not surprisingly, the quota of machinery in the Italian export to Pakistan is already 42% of our export to your country. As Italian trade agency, our mission is to assist the Italian companies at developing their market in Pakistan while granting local producers the possibility to take advantage of the Italian technology in their manufacturing processes in a win-to-win scheme. So a partnership, a win-to-win scheme is a successful partnership based on innovation, tailor-made solution, local assistance over time, aim at facing together in the medium-term perspective the transition to a smart and sustainable industrial model. We strongly believe that the technology centers are an effective solution to reach this objective, and we have successfully experienced it in several countries and with several partners and in several applications. The overall 600,000 euro yes invested by the Italian trade agency in these two centers confirm our stronger commitment to this joint adventure. And a third project on the stone technology, I understand, is the pipeline for next year. Mrs. Marchioni Bocca and Mr. Zucchi will illustrate the details and opportunities of this initiative. On my side, I would like to point out how such ambitious projects are the results of long-term cooperation among national players and across international partners. At the national level, the conception, establishment, and management of technology centers actively involve government, institutions, and entrepreneurial associations. The Italian Trade Agency acts under the direction and based on the strategic guidelines of our Ministry for Foreign Affairs. All players in Italy work now as a systema, operating hand in hand in the benefit of the Italian enterprises, particularly SMEs, under the coordination of the Italian Ministry of Foreign Affairs and following the guidelines of Patto per l'Export. And this is the case of this cooperation with the system of enterprises today with ASSOMAC and ACIMIT. And then the cooperation across the countries with local public and private organizations starts first of all with a common vision and the need of local producers, then move ahead on more operational items like the availability of premises, the involvement of students. It extends to the final beneficiaries with whom the machinery makers aim to establish a continuous circular feedback. Is a training operation, but is also a learning opportunity for our producer. For this reason, I want to thank the Pakistan Footwear Manufacturer Association and the Pakistan Ready-Made Garments Manufacturer and Exporters Association for their trust and fruitful cooperation. The ability to work together for a common objective is crucial in such a complex period after the pandemic. While the Italian exports has restarted, and I'm glad to say that in December, Italian exports signed a growth in respect to the prior year equivalent month, plus 2.1%. We are now dealing, and we want to support the enterprises in dealing with a new paradigm of global market, which will be characterized by accelerated innovation, sustainability, and digitalization. Institutions like us have to spare not effort to help companies to address these challenges and opportunities post-COVID. The Italian Trade Agency is at our side for the benefit of both the Italian SMEs and their international partners like you. I wish a fruitful session today and moreover, a success for this joint adventure. Thank you all.
Grazie, grazie molte, Presidente. Shukriya, they should say in Pakistan, in Urdu. So excellent relationship, you said, Italy, ideal partner, Pakistan, 4th world leaders in terms of textile production, 7th in terms of footwear production, complementarity, promotional investment. As usual, you're straight to the point, straight to the numbers. You like the numbers so much. You reminded us the budget that we invested in this private-public new promotional, let's say, also paradigm. So let's go a little bit more in depth about this possibility of joint cooperation between Italy and Pakistan with Andreas Ferrarese. His Excellency Ferrarese is the ambassador of Italy in Pakistan. From Islamabad, we move to Pakistan. Please, Ambassador. I remind you to unmute your microphone if you can hear me. Can't see you now, but I think it should be also great after an Italian speaker, Carlo Ferro, to listen first to the ambassador of Pakistan in Italy, Jauhar Saleem. So we try to alternate one Italian and one Pakistani speaker. Ambassador, please, back to Rome, to you.
Thank you. I hope you can hear me well. Great.
Perfectly.
Excellency Andreas Ferrarese, Ambassador of Italy in Pakistan, Mr. Carlo Ferro, President of Italian Trade Agency, Mr. Roberto Luongo, Managing Director and CEO for ITA, Ms. Fareena Mahzar, Secretary BOI, Mr. Ahsan Mangi, Secretary TDAP, business leaders, representatives, ladies and gentlemen, good morning and good afternoon for Pakistani colleagues, participants. At the outset, I would like to extend my great appreciation to all of you for making this event possible. Only some weeks ago, the idea was first broached between ITA and this embassy, and now it has become reality. In the times of COVID-19 pandemic, this is a wonderful beginning with a great promise. We'll sure have many more interactive sessions in the times to come, and I hope not always virtual. This pandemic that we are all facing has cannibalized growth across the globe, and the situation warrants enhanced economic cooperation and innovative thinking. As the EU faces an unprecedented health and economic crisis, like everywhere else in the world, textiles and leather supply chains have been hit particularly hard. This was a major reason which made us start these business interactive sessions with these two sectors. We are witnessing a twin collapse, ladies and gentlemen, or dual shock, if you will. This dual shock is both of demand and supply. What can we do in such a situation? In my view, the solution lies in strengthening economic ties and promoting cooperation to create synergies and greater space for everyone to come out of these challenging times. Once we do overcome COVID-19 crisis, the supply chains need to be rebuilt. We must ensure that these become more resilient and equitable. That would only be possible through active engagement of businesses on both sides. The fact is, this pandemic has changed the face of textile, clothing, and footwear industries. Changes are visible in production line, supply chains, marketing, and logistics. Companies are repositioning their production priorities and marketing strategies, which offer much room to learn from one another in tackling the new challenges we all face together. So the key is to collaborate more, not less. Today, we have with us some of the top bosses, heads of trade and investment agencies of both the countries, top management of textile and leather sectors associations, and other key stakeholders with us. Taking advantage of their presence, may I propose to establish a Pak Italy working group on textile and leather to promote bilateral trade and capitalize on bilateral investment opportunities. The working group may have public sector representatives for facilitation, but the main strength of the group would be the private sector stakeholders. The working group may also guide us in effective utilization of existing cooperation arrangements like ACIMIT, MOUs with PRG, MEA, APMA, and PHMA. Esteemed participants, I strongly believe in the huge potential of our markets. Our cooperation can help in protecting and creating thousands of jobs on both sides and come up with win-win situations. With a carefully crafted joint strategy, we can help our businesses to emerge as more resilient and sustainable enterprises. I must acknowledge here the cooperation we have received for technology upgradation and skill development in leather and textile sectors from ITA. We're getting a very positive feedback from our businessmen about the productivity and usefulness of technology centers at Lahore and Faisalabad. I believe these technology centers would also enhance our businesses' craving for the state-of-the-art Italian technology. I would also like to take this opportunity to thank Italian public and private sector representatives for supporting Pakistan for the EU GSP Plus scheme. We look forward to their continued support as GSP Plus has helped both sides in increasing their share of trade, as well as total trade by a huge margin. For today's webinar, I would particularly request business representatives from textile and leather sectors to pinpoint opportunities that can be capitalized jointly. On our part, we can assure you that we would provide all possible facilitation and support. We expect today's event to offer a good start to review and promote the bilateral commercial relations. I thank you all.
Thank you very much, Mr. Ambassador Jauhar Saleem. Really, also because you pushed us first to realize this webinar, this seminar, to identify what you said, more occasion of collaboration, not less, but more. You talk about joint strategy. You talk about be resilient together. You talk about these two sectors that should be an example and more yet to come. So since we heard, let's say, the words and the encouraging from you and from, let's say, the Italian Trade Agency, which is the, let's say, Italian TPO, the Trade Promotion Organization, I would like now to share the floor with the counterparts of President Ferro. I mean, the Secretary of the Trade Development Authority of Pakistan. So I give the floor to Mr. Ahsan Ali. Prego, please.
Good morning and good afternoon to everybody. It's a great pleasure to be here in this webinar today and to acknowledge the great efforts that our countries have put in promoting our bilateral economic relations and trade. Textile and leather sectors are very important for both the countries, and that is why we had this MOU inked between TIDA and the Italian Trade Agency back in 2018. And in just 2 years' time, the establishment of Italy-Pakistan Textile Technology Center at Faisalabad and the Leather Technology Center at Lahore speaks volumes about the growing cooperation to promote these sectors between two countries. The COVID-19 has not stopped us from establishing and operationalizing these centers, which would not have been possible without the Italian technical assistance. I see these technology centers as a great gesture of Pakistan-Italy development cooperation, a cooperation which was started a long time ago, and we would like to continue and further enrich it. I would like to encourage Pakistan Footwear Manufacturers Association and National Textile University Faisalabad to upscale these technology centers and facilities and let us know how we can contribute further to improve them. I understand that Italian Textile Machinery Manufacturers Association has an MOU with PRGMEA, APTMA, and PHMA. But both sides believe that they could have done, and we believe also that they can do further and better to utilize these cooperation instruments to promote the bilateral relations. I would like to encourage both sides to revisit and rearrange their commitments in the light of the new scenario created by the pandemic. Let me inform you that our textile sector is operating on visibly high capacity. And in November, our exports have registered a healthy 7% growth on month-on-month basis. The requirement for new textile machinery is also rising. Currently, Italy is our 5th largest supplier of textile machinery. Looking at the quality and state-of-art Italian machinery, I personally believe that Italy can perform much better and it can improve its ranking for machinery requirements in Pakistan's textile. I take this opportunity to underline that the government of Pakistan offers certain incentives to promote these sectors, leather and textile, which has been worked out in collaboration with our business community in order to enhance productivity and growth of these sectors. In order to promote Pakistan-Italy bilateral trade ties, we subsidize our exporters' participation in half a dozen trade fairs which are held in Italy annually. It is said that many of them could not take place in 2020 due to the pandemic, but I must appreciate our mission in the room that use virtual platforms like we are doing it today to connect businesses on both sides during these challenging times. I have to say that our business community looks at Italy with great interest, and once we come out of this pandemic ordeal, delegation exchange can start again, and we would welcome and facilitate Italian delegations to Pakistan. Taking advantage of this opportunity, I would like to invite Italian Trade Agency to establish their full-fledged office in Pakistan in order to further promote our bilateral relations and plan future cooperation activities. Lastly, I would like to extend to all of you the invitation to attend Texpo, the first international virtual textile exhibition, which is being held from 1st to 5th February in Pakistan for the Pakistan Textile and Leather. Due to pandemic, we have opted for this virtual exhibition of Texpo. This Texpo represents great opportunities for textile sector businesses, and we are ready to provide you all the required facilitation. I once again thank you all, and I thank you for this opportunity to speak and interact with you. Thanks.
Thank you very much, Excellency Mangi. I think that President Ferro and Director General Luongo already are taking notes of the request, because they are the first request enforcing the presence of Italian trade agency in Pakistan. But we will talk about this soon after the ambassador of Italy in Pakistan. I think that now the line from Islamabad is okay. Mi dà conferma, ambasciatore Ferrarese?
I hope everybody is
perfetto. Buongiorno. Buongiorno, buongiorno.
A tutti. Thank you. President Carlo Ferro, Ambassador Saleem, my dear friend Jauhar, Mr. Ahsan Ali Mangi, Ms. Fareena Mahzar, and Mr. Luongo, Managing Director and CEO of Italian Trade Agency. I salute everybody. Let me give, I'm sure that everybody involved has technical data, so I would not go too much about the figures of bilateral trade. Let me give some general hints, some messages. First, Italy and Pakistan are two very friendly countries. We never had a serious political bilateral problem. We are strong allies in the United Nations. Italy is very popular amongst the Pakistani people. Pakistan is a country which is bound to grow. It has a young population. Most of its population is below 30 years. It means that it can, in next years and decades, will have an impressive economic growth. There is no alternative. Let me also add, as an Italian living in Pakistan, that sometimes the image of Pakistan in Italy and international media is not faithfully reflecting the current situation. Pakistan is a country where you can live very well, you can have a very good social life, and the security situation is much more improved. With a lot of sacrifice from the Pakistani armed forces, police, now the situation is in most of the territory secure. You can live normally here in a friendly environment. I live here very happily with my wife and my daughter of 1 year. Let me add that Pakistan is in a strategic position. It's close to the Gulf markets. And also, what is very important, which is not commonly known, it has a free trade agreement with China, which is not irrelevant if you produce here. So Pakistan has often been portrayed as an inevitable market, and I personally agree with that definition. A country with more than 200 million people, as a matter of fact, cannot be ignored. It's the second largest Muslim country and the fifth most populated country in the world. Its middle class have the size of the entire population of Germany, and they are increasing. You have at least 60, 70 million people who live with European standards, and they have a well-educated youth with international taste and with a particular appreciation for Italy and for our products. If to work in Pakistan, you have to approach in the right way, which is with suggestion to find a good local partner, a partner which can guide also to interact with local bureaucracy, with local counterparts, and guide an Italian investor or an Italian exporters in this country. But once you know the environment, business is much easier than many other countries. This I can tell living here and assisting what we are doing. The Italian embassy is strengthening its presence in the country. We are building a new embassy after 10 years. I think we will finish in 1 year, and the new embassy will have a lot of structures which are aimed to assist Italian companies, even from the having a kind of interactive room for video conferences, a kind of a theater with 200 seats where we can make a lot of events. We have an active consulate in Karachi, which is somehow the financial and many says economic capital of the country. We have also established recently an honorary consulate in the city of Lahore, which is not only the cultural capital of Pakistan, but also a very relevant and productive environment with an area of 10 million more or less in the city, but in the area is 20 million people, which is a lot. So Italy is present in Pakistan. We are probably the most appreciated European country here, and we can really make a lot. The purpose of my mission in the next 3 years will be to try to increase the cooperation to create added value in Pakistan. It means that the export, the production in Pakistan and the export from Pakistan should be improved on the ground. And that can happen also in improving the technological content of the products. In that, Italy is a perfect partner because we have all the technology which is necessary to improve the production, the quality and the quantity of production in Pakistan. I act perfectly in line with my counterpart in Italy, Ambassador Saleem. We have exactly with the same strategic approach, and we work in harmony and simultaneously. And this to create a production in Pakistan, possibly local with Italian machineries or with joint ventures, to serve the local market, the internal market, but also the regional markets. And don't forget that we have, from Pakistan, we have free access to China. And so the 3 centers that have been foreseen by the Italian Trade Commission go exactly in this direction. And I look forward to inaugurate the 3rd one soon. So I am particularly convinced that our trade can be doubled in a very short time if all of us are committed to. We can easily pass to 4 billion euros, I think, if we take all the opportunities which are there. I don't enter into details. I'm sure everybody know the figure, and I wish a good work to everybody. The Italian embassy is here, ready to assist and to provide all possible help to Italians who are entering this market. Thanks to everybody.
Thank you. Grazie, Ambassador Ferrarese. What a challenge already to double the trade, the bilateral trade between Pakistan and Italy. And thank you for mentioning not only Islamabad, the capital, not only Karachi, the largest city, but also Lahore. And Lahore and its district is the first example of this cooperation. It's the place where the first technology center, shared technology center, Italy-Pakistan Technology Center on footwear technology, was realized, inaugurated. We will reach there in 5 minutes. Let's stay 5 more minutes on Pakistan. Another aspect that we want to touch better in depth, because if I go on Wikipedia, I can read Pakistan, an emerging and growth leading economy. Then you go to search the definition of what is it, growth leading economy. It's an economy expected to lead global growth in the next 10 years and to provide important opportunities for investors. So important opportunities for investors. So which are the policy and incentives for investments policy of the government of Pakistan in these very days? We are asking this first part, institutional part, let's say, of the webinar, the Secretary of the Board of Investment of Pakistan, Mrs. Fareena Mahzar. The floor is with you, Mrs. Fareena, please.
Thank you so much, Ferro, for giving me this opportunity. A very good morning to all the participants who have joined from Italy, and a very good afternoon from all those who have joined us from Pakistan. So it's a matter of great pleasure for me to be joining you all here today at this webinar. Unfortunately, because of COVID, this is the only forum left where we can interact, although I very strictly believe that this is not the best mode of interaction. And hopefully very soon we will be meeting in, physically and discussing things about investment and trade. But I do really appreciate the efforts of the Embassy of Pakistan and the Italian Trade Agency for organizing this event, which they have definitely done in a very short time. And it is very important that we should not lose touch. So no matter what happens, we should keep on engaging with each other. The businesses and the investors must stay in touch. Such events provide an excellent opportunity for mutual interaction, exchange of trade and investment promotion opportunities, and sharing of valuable experiences to enhance mutual cooperation. With over 212 million inhabitants, Pakistan offers investors a very strong and large consumer market with an ever-expanding middle class. Our strategic location at the crossroads of South Asia, Central Asia, and West Asia, and close proximity to the Gulf countries makes Pakistan a promising regional hub and an important market for trade and investment. Pakistan is rightly an investment destination with investor-friendly policies and the commitment to resolve and enhance business competitiveness in the region. There are ample opportunities for foreign investors to meet and invest. 100% repatriation of profits and dividend is allowed. 100% investment rights are allowed. All sectors are open for investment. So Pakistan has probably one of the most friendly investment regimes in the country, in the region. The laws of special economic zones offer lucrative incentives to meet the global challenges of competitiveness. to attract foreign direct investment. It allows creating industrial clusters with liberal incentives, infrastructure, investor facilitation services to enterprises to enhance productivity and reduce their cost of doing business. This feeds into the larger goals of economic and development and poverty reduction, the two important pillars of our economic policy. Italian investors are welcome to explore business and investment opportunities in Pakistan and avail the attractive incentives in the special economic zones. The two most important incentives that we are offering at the moment is one-time duty-free import of plant and machinery for setting up of the business and 10 years tax holiday on the incomes that you earn after starting your business. We are starting 9 special economic zones with the collaboration of China, but I want to make it clear that these economic zones are not China specific. Anyone can come and invest in them, and they can make use of, they can use the facilities that are being provided in these economic zones. We've already launched one, Rashakai in Peshawar, near Peshawar, and the second one is Islamabad that has also been launched, and the third one is Dhabeji near Karachi. And it is going to be one of the very popular and most attractive places for doing business as it is close to the border, to the shore. We understand that a conducive investment climate is instrumental in attracting both domestic and foreign investment. We are therefore focusing on creating ease of doing business. And I would like to inform all the participants here that Pakistan improved its ranking on the World Bank's Ease of Doing Business report 2020 by 28 positions. And a year before that, we improved 11 positions. So altogether, we've improved 39 positions in the last 2 years. And this government's focus is on regulatory reform. So we are hoping, you know, a company can now be registered in just 1 day. All the requirements can be uploaded on going on the Security and Exchange Commission's portal. You can even pay the company fee online. And similarly, most of other departments have been deregulated to the extent that they are independent, and the regulatory process is very, very streamlined. And we are also working towards a larger regulatory reform, which will take another 3 years. And by that, you know, Pakistan business portal will be developed where you could see all the investment opportunities. You could register with any agency that you wish to and pay online fees. Pakistan was declared as the 6th best reformer in the Ease of Doing Business report last year. So we received a foreign direct investment of $49.2 million from Italy in the financial year 2020 in oil exploration, chemicals, electronics, power and communication, to mention a few sectors. Italian companies are profitably operating in Pakistan, including ENI, CNH Fiat, Sage Tech, Sera SRL, Chesi Pharmaceutical, Angelini, ABB, SPA, and we welcome all other Italian companies to explore joint venture opportunities with Pakistani entrepreneurs. Comprehensive sector studies of priority sectors, including agriculture, automotive, IT, textile, logistics, have been carried out, and these highlight the policies and incentives offered by the government of Pakistan. The studies are available on the Board of Investment's website. Low-cost housing and tourism are also our priority sectors, and they can be offered to investors from Italy. It gives me pride to state that the Board of Investment is committed to facilitate local and foreign investment and shall provide the institutional support to materialize all your endeavors in Pakistan. Please do visit our website. We've just redone it, and it's one of the very interactive websites where you can find most of the information that you're looking for. Thank you all for your attention, and good luck with your future endeavors. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Mrs. Fareena, for reminding us these sectors and these opportunities and these incentives regarding not only the large scale manufacturing area industry, but also the small scale manufacturing industry in Pakistan, with, as far as I know, represent almost 5% of the whole GDP of Pakistan. And so this is the reason why some years ago we wanted to share the Italian experience, and we started exactly with the footwear sector. So a few years ago, there were two presidents. We should say that they had a dreams. The people were, the person I'm talking about was the president of ASSOMAC, that is the Italian National Association of Manufacturers of Footwear, Leather Goods and Tanning Technologies. And on the other side, the president of PFMA, Pakistan Footwear Manufacturers Association. They had a dream. They wanted to realize the first ever Italy-Pakistan Footwear Technology Center, so-called IPFTC, and they have chosen Lahore. They signed an MOU, an agreement on December 2016, and then after the commitment also of the two governments at the time, the Ministry of Economic Development, then the Ministry of Foreign Affairs of Italy, and with the active participation of Italian presidency. Let's have a look to the video. Look what happened on September 3rd, 2020. So the dream came true. So we are quite emotional to see this, because really ASSOMAC and PFMA together, they they turned into reality the dreams. And at that time, until few weeks ago, the president of ASSOMAC is Mrs. Gabriella Bocca. Gabriella Marchioni Bocca, former president of ASSOMAC and one of the strongest promoter of this first ever Italy-Pakistan Footwear Technology Center. Why you did it and how you did it? Please, ASSOMAC.
Thank you very much, Honorable Ambassador, Ministry, and from Pakistan and from Italy, President Ferro, Director Mr. Luongo, and the special friend Amedeo Scarpa. We wish, and dear guest, we wish to thank you very much. I am very glad to interview in this speech, in this webinar, because for us, this Footwear Technological Center has been a big project, and also one dream that we are able to realize, thanks to the help of Italian Trade Commission, and also with Italian producer machine, our ASSOMAC member. For us, it's very important to have this center of services because is a strategic instrument in order to explain exactly what we are able to produce, what we are able to do, and what type of our machine are suitable with Green Deal and sustainability and resistance. I'm very, very happy, and I wish also to thank you, the friends of PFMI, because with them, and all together we realize this. For the technical instruction, I prefer to give the floor to Roberto Vago, that is the General Director of ASSOMAC, and he can show you exactly what's happening in our dreams and what we are able to realize. But thank you very much to Italian Trade Commission in order to give us this opportunity, because especially for our fields, that are we are leader, but we can also show with our technological trade center what we are able to do, and what and so also we can teach to other people to use our machine, work with our machines, and understand exactly the importance of our technology, the green technology that we produce every day. Thank you very much. I wish just to say hello to everybody. Today I full finish my roles of president, because last Wednesday, now we have a new president, that is engineer Maria Vittoria Brustia. But she preferred that I interview here because I follow this project, and I wish just to thank you to everybody, because it was a very nice moment and very good moment of cooperation, international cooperation. Thank you to everybody, and Mr. Roberto, give you a floor. Thank you very much.
Thanks to you, Gabriella. Roberto Vago, then.
Ok, grazie mille Gabriella, e soprattutto per, lo dico in italiano, per l'entusiasmo che ci hai messo. So thanks to Gabriella for the effort done for this project, and I hope that you hear me. So I will be more technical, but I'm trying to be simplest that I can in this explanation. Therefore, I will have to share the screen, and this is the presentation that we prepare to illustrate the project. And thanks to the cooperation from Italian trade agencies and the PFMA associations, and particularly based on the analysis of the needs of the Pakistan footwear sector, industrial sector. Together we evaluate the opportunity to start this, so I prefer to call a transfer technology center, to base this technology center into main parts. One is the cutting sections. That is the starting point of the production in the shoe factories. So based on this idea that we already apply in other model like this, we starting from the digitalizations phase of the last, and the shoe design. That is the pillar of the or the milestone of the starting point of the production in the footwear sector. Second part is based on the cutting procedure. The cutting procedure is very important in the shoe production, because you have to prepare all the components underscore to cutting, to move and to build the shoes as or according to the pattern that we already designed through the 2 and 3D CAD/CAM systems. So this is the first step. Naturally, the idea of the center is to continue to develop other contribution in technologies, but we decided to establish, starting from this point, one of the important components of the production systems. The second part was to improve the physical testing. Physical testing lab means to realize through some equipment to find to evaluate the physical properties of the quality of the shoes. Why those techniques are so important? Because naturally in the export framework, you have to meet some what I can say, some certifications, and that is established from the standard, the international standards protocols. That is the second part. Naturally, we decided to start from the test laboratory regarding the physical properties, but as Gabriella says, the idea is also to develop this lab according to the sustainability aspect. That means environmental impact and all the ideas regarding to evaluate the quality of the production systems. The third step ahead in the project is to realize some workshop activities, so means generally training courses activities that we have to set it up in the 21, so next year, that is already scheduling. The idea of these topics, activities are four according to the machines that we already installed on the lab, so means the CAD/CAM digitalizations purposes, management of the production system, but even also management of the testing process according to produce some certifications. That is very important to support the export and to have the opportunity to demonstrate the capacity of production of the leather sector in Pakistan. So, summarizing and just finishing all my point, those are the reason why the technology is boosting the cluster of footwear activity and the industrial support. The main goal is that these laboratories has to be full of requirement from the companies. So it's a kind of tools that the companies, I'm talking about Pakistan companies, have to use every day just to enter and to develop their own capacities of production. But in the meantime, it's also a location where we can establish one win-win situations activities. So Italian companies is also invited to be participating in this lab and to present, to use these facilities as a hub for introducing some new ideas, new machines development, and new applications. So I thank you very much for your attention. I will try to summarize. I'm sorry, but it's technical details that is quite complicated to condensate in a few words. Grazie Amedeo for your support and thank you to all the honorable ambassadors and to Dr. Ferro as the president of Italian Trade Agencies. Thanks.
Thank you very much to you, Roberto, and Gabriella, and the new president of ASSOMAC, Maria Vittoria, and for pointing out correctly and rightly that sometimes, let's say, incentives without technology, without experience, without a win-win exchange is quite nothing, because you can put, of course, new units, but if you don't have the up-to-date technology, such as the Italian ones, and the machineries and for making tests and for improving the quality of your production, then maybe the incentives are not enough. So in this very win-win relations, there is the core also of this webinar and of your presentation today. And this is the reason why I think it's important to look forward to see which are the perspective on the leatherworking sector in Pakistan, in order, again, to identify more opportunity for Italian suppliers of technologies in that growing market. So that's why we have the counterpart of ASSOMAC now. So Mr. Ahmad Fawad Farooq, he's the Secretary General of Pakistan Footwear Manufacturer Association. From your point of view, it was a good experience, a great experience. What are you going to do with this Italian technology in Pakistan, and why you should be a model for other sectors, for other win-win cooperation? Please, Mr. Farooq.
Thank you very much, Mr. Miguel Scarpa. Excellencies, distinguished speakers, honorable participants, ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. It is a great honor and pleasure for me to present Pakistan leather sector in this webinar. I would be presenting you about the leather sector and the opportunities for the Italian business community in Pakistan in next few minutes. I hope slides are visible.
Yes, perfectly. Please go ahead.
Thank you very much. Pakistan is a fascinating land rich in natural resources with strong agriculture base. Its farmlands are excellent grazing grounds for the high quality livestock and its breeding. Pakistan is an agro-based country with rich in livestock having buffaloes 41 millions, cattle 49 millions, goat 78 millions, and sheep 31 millions. Pakistan leather industry is well established and produces high quality finished leather from hides as well as skin. Leather and footwear industry of Pakistan is the second most dynamic industry of the country with an annual export of 785 million US dollar during 2019 and 2020. It contributes 3.5% of the export earning. Leather and footwear industry is labor intensive and providing jobs to more than 2.5 million people, mostly low income people of our society through its supply chain. Pakistan footwear industry is seventh largest producer of footwear in the world and providing employment to more than 2 million people in Pakistan. World footwear export is 142 billion US dollars, whereas Pakistan export is 126 million US dollars, and our share in world export is 0.1%. Approximately it is 0.8%, about 1%. Pakistan has a great potential to enhance its export and could further generate employment in the country if Italian and Pakistan governments seriously help out the footwear sector. Now I come to the Italian-Pakistan Footwear Technological Center. It is a great example of cooperation between Italy and Pakistan. And it is a great example of a public-public and public-private partnership in Pakistan. The Ministry of Economic Development of Italian Republic and Ministry of Commerce and Textile Industry of Pakistan jointly agreed to cooperate for the development of footwear industry in Pakistan. A letter of intent between Ministry of Economic Development of Italian Republic and Ministry of Commerce and Textile Industry of Pakistan signed in Rome on 30th June 2018. A collaboration agreement between Pakistan Footwear Manufacturer Association and Italian Trade Agency signed on 19 September 2018. Partners of this project are the Italian Trade Agency, ASSOMAC, National Association of Italian Manufacturers of Footwear, Leather Goods and Tanning Technologies, International Polytechnic for Industrial and Economic Development, NGO, Pakistan Footwear Manufacturer Association, the Italian government and the Pakistani government. The objectives of this project was to develop state-of-the-art footwear designers in Pakistan to enhance its exports, to train local designers of footwear by international expert designers from Italy, to train local master trainer of footwear who will train the local designers as per need of footwear industry, to educate and train the local industry about international laboratory standards with hands-on experience on latest testing lab equipment. Italian will provide technical trainers who will educate footwear sector about know-how to operate Italian machinery and equipment. And Pakistan Footwear Manufacturer Association will engage international footwear designers from Italy who will conduct footwear designing courses to train a batch of local master trainers. Then local master trainer would train footwear designers locally. PFMA will organize 12 footwear design courses and 6 footwear lab testing courses in a year and will train 270 local footwear designers and lab testing technicians. This skilled workforce will help in producing high quality shoes using new technologies, and as a result, footwear export of the country will be enhanced considerably. Inauguration of Italian-Pakistan Footwear Technological Center. Mr. Marius Kappa has shown the video of this project. Pakistan government and Italian government through Pakistan Footwear Manufacturer Association have inaugurated this historic project at Pakistan Footwear Technological Center at Lahore on 30th September 2020. The inauguration ceremony, graced by Honorable Chief Guest Mia Muhammad Aslam Iqbal, Punjab Minister of Industries. It was all done with the great support and cooperation of Italian government and our strategic partner, Italian Trade Agency, ASSOMAC, PASIE, and other our strategic partners. This mega project, Italian-Pakistan Footwear Technological Center, will be a stepping stone towards betterment of Pakistan footwear industry, and it will help to provide support to local footwear industry with the latest techniques and best skills. This is the statistics of leather export to Italy during 2019-2020. It is shown on the blue foil, and it was approximately $66 million during this fiscal year. Footwear upper of leather, footwear upper of textile mat, footwear part of footwear, leather of sheep, skins, goat skins, leather of other animals, leather further prepared after tanning or crusting, and so on. Now I come to the statistics of footwear sector. In Pakistan, shoemaking factories, the statistics are the mechanized medium unit produces more than 5,000 pairs per day, 10. Mechanized small unit produce 2,000 to 5,000 pairs per day, 150. Semi-mechanized produce up to 2,000 pairs per day, 5,000. And cotton industry, minimum employment 10 or 75,000 in Pakistan. Employment in this sector, the workforce of footwear sector and allied industries is 2 million. Statistics of footwear sector, Pakistan footwear production. Footwear production is 481 million pairs annually. Consumption is 477 million pairs annually. Import is 14 million pairs annually, and export is 18 million pairs annually. Pakistan footwear export. Footwear export during 2019 was 125 million US dollar. Annual growth during last year before the COVID was 13%, and after the COVID, our annual growth is 2.8%. Major importing countries from Pakistan, these are the major importing countries which are importing footwear from Pakistan. Italy is on the top. Italy is importing $18 million, and UK is importing 9 million, Netherlands 7 million, France $3 million import. Pakistan ranked number 7 in top footwear producing countries in the world. This is shown on the slide. International shoe brands which are manufactured in Pakistan are shown on blue foil. Steve Madden, Aldo, Kurt Geiger, Zara, Caprice, Marco, Tozzi, Jana, Ditchman, Dockers, Hush Puppies, Green Cross, Sterling, and Hunt. Now, with this, I come to the business opportunities available to the Italian businessmen in Pakistan. In Pakistan is developing special economic zone under CPEC with 10 years tax holiday. Pakistan has signed the Pakistan-China FTA with China.
Mr.
And all
Farooq,
leather goods.
I need to ask you to conclude your presentation, also because
Okay.
some of this data
Okay,
we
thank you.
from the Secretary of the Board of Investment in Pakistan. But I want to thank you because you underlined that there are something like 75,000 units in the cottage industry that have less than 10 employees, and which means, and more than 5,000 small units. That means that really they take a great advantage from the flexibility of the Italian suppliers, because you know very well that Italian supplier of technologies are very much appreciated all over the world, and in Pakistan also through this first joint technological center for their flexibility. So you pointed out something very, very important for us, and reasons why, again, this cooperation is win-win. If you don't mind, I have to go ahead with the next sector, and we are going to talk talk with
I will take only
please, your conclusion.
I will take only 1 minute to conclude. I will not take much time.
Please.
Okay, these are the business opportunities shown on the blue file. Now I come to the challenges. Lack of technology, as Italian technology is very expensive. This is a challenge. Training and capacity building, skill development, market and branding, bilateral image building in public and private sector, environmental compliance, bilateral trade between Italy and Pakistan has increased manifold since 2016. Although the working of Italian trade desk is commendable, but there is a need to have Italian Trade Commission office in Pakistan. Now, few recommendations. This is the conclusion. Italian government may give incentives to Pakistan leather sector to buy Italian technology with easy credit line. The ways are to find by the Italian government. Then Italian government may develop some plan to send their technician to training industry to educate local technicians how to make best use of Italian technology already available in Pakistan. Then Italian associations like ASSOMAC and Italian Institute may collaborate with Pakistani Association and Pakistani institutions. Then I will also request to upgrade the Italian Pakistan Footwear Technical Center to the next level. Then the Center of Excellence like Italian Pakistan Footwear Technical Center may also be established for tanners industry in collaboration with Pakistan Tanner Association. Then upgrade existing leather sector and footwear sector training institutes like JILT Gujranwala, IIT Qusur and Leather Institute Karachi with the Italian technology. Italian Trade Commission may have office in Pakistan to meet the growing demand of bilateral relations for speedy and better implementation of bilateral projects in Pakistan. And at the end, establish Italian Pakistan Footwear Council for better bilateral working in footwear sector. Thank you very much. Thank you.
I really thank you, and it was important to conclude with these perspectives and these concrete proposals also to go ahead, starting from the Italy-Pakistan Footwear Technology Center already realized. And I thank you very much. You repeated also a request that your ambassador did to the Italian Trade Agency. I want to note the participation online also of the President of Karachi Chamber of Commerce, Mr. Sharik Voha, and Vice President, Mr. Shamsul Islam. Thank you for being with us. I don't know if technically will be possible for you to intervene, but in case you can write as well as all the public, you can write your question and your email in the Q&A that you find down in your screen, and then we reply to all of you live or by email. Please note your email address, as well as I thank Ratio Sport and also Mr. Zishan. Yeah, you well understood. Yeah, there is an agreement between also ACIMIT and their local counterparts in a very, very important sector. Maybe the most important sector in terms of export for Pakistan, but also in terms of export of Italy, in terms of technology. We are talking about textile products, which are 23% of the total export of Pakistan. And let's go to have a look to this technological center that we really just inaugurated few days ago. And then the floor will go to Mr. Alex Zucchi, who is the president of ACIMIT. Let's show the video.
इटली के सफीर एंड्रियास फेरारस ने पीर के रोज़ नेशनल टेक्सटाइल यूनिवर्सिटी फैसलाबाद में चीफ एग्जेक्टिव ऑफिसर क्रीसेंट बहुमान लिमिटेड रिजवान शफी के हमरा इटली पाकिस्तान टेक्सटाइल टेक्नोलॉजी सेंटर की इफ्तिताही तकरीब में शिरकत की। इस मौका पर प्रोफेसर डॉक्टर तनवीर हुसैन, रेक्टर नेशनल टेक्सटाइल यूनिवर्सिटी, इटली में पाकिस्तान के सफ़ीर जौहर सलीम, मुत्तहदा अरब अमारात पाकिस्तान और ओमान के लिए इटली के ट्रेड कमिश्नर, एमिडियोस कॉरिपा, एसोसिएशन ऑफ इटालियन टेक्सटाइल मशीनरी मैन्युफैक्चरर्स के सदर एलेक्स जोसेफ और टेक्सटाइल सेक्टर के मुख्तलिफ शोबाजात से ताल्लुक़ रखने वाले सनतकार और मुख्तलिफ सनती तंजीमों के ओहदेदारान भी मौजूद थे। इतालवी सफ़ीर ने कहा कि इस सेंटर में जदीद तरीन टेक्नोलॉजी के ज़रिए गारमेंट्स की रंगाई, धुलाई, फिनिशिंग और प्रोसेसिंग समेत दीगर सहूलियात दस्तयाब होंगी उन्होंने कहा कि इस अदारे का क़याम पाक डेनिम इंडस्ट्री की गारमेंट्स की क्वालिटी को जदीद तहकीक और जद्दत से आला मेयार का हामिल बनाने में मुआवन साबित होगा। इस टेक्नोलॉजी सेंटर के क़याम से न सिर्फ इटली और पाकिस्तान के दरमियान दो तरफा सनती ताउन को फ़रोग़ में मदद मिलेगी, बल्कि दोनों ममालिक एक दूसरे की महारत, तजर्बात और सहूलियात से इस्तेफ़ादा करते हुए नए आलमी मुनाफा बख्श मंडियों तक रसाई के अलावा ज़्यादा मुनाफा भी हासिल करने के काबिल हो सकेंगी। इस ज़मन में हुकूमत के तावन का शुक्रिया अदा करते हुए उन्होंने कहा कि इस किस्म के इक़दाम से जहाँ दोनों ममालिक के दोस्ताना ताल्लुकात में मज़ीद इस्तेहकाम आएगा, वहीं सनती शोबे की बरामदात के मुकर्ररा अहदाफ का हसूल भी यकीनी हो जाएगा।
We, as all around the world, we have been a little. It was a year of pause and reflection somehow, but we continue. We continue. In a certain point, we decided with the Italian Trade Commission, and I'm very glad that we have here our representative in Pakistan, Bocca. We decided to go through. We cannot wait any longer. COVID can influence. We must be careful, but things have to proceed.
तकरीब से खिताब में क्रीसेंट बहुमान लिमिटेड के CEO रिजवान शफी ने कहा कि टेक्नोलॉजी में तरक्की और जिद्दत पसंदी मुल्की इक्तसादी तरक्की के लिए नागुज़ीर है और आलमी हालात और डिमांड के तकाज़ों के पेश नज़र जब तक हम जदीद टेक्नोलॉजी को नहीं अपनाते, इस वक्त तक हम सनती और माशी इक्तसादी तरक्की नहीं कर सकते।
Triangle must be in complete harmony and they have to understand and predict the need for the future. We now live in a world of sustainability, sustainable products, sustainable processes. No amount of sustainability can be achieved without businesses being sustainable themselves.
अपने खिताब में रेक्टर नेशनल टेक्सटाइल यूनिवर्सिटी प्रोफेसर डॉक्टर तनवीर हुसैन ने कहा कि मज़कूरा सेंटर का क़याम इटली की वजारत ख़ारजा, इटली के पाकिस्तान में सफारत खाने, इतालवी रेड एजेंसी एसोसिएशन ऑफ इटालियन टेक्सटाइल मशीनरी मैन्युफैक्चरर्स वगैरह के ताउन और मदद से मुमकिन हो सका है, जो गारमेंट्स की डाइनिंग, वॉशिंग, फिनिशिंग के जदीद तरीन आलात से आरास्ता है। महबूब अली, ब्राइट स्टार टीवी, पाकिस्तान।
This was Bright Star TV in Urdu also. I think in English is going to talk the president of ACIMIT, Mr. Zucchi. Please, the floor is with you, and another example of concrete cooperation for a very, very important sector for both sides.
Thank you very much. Good morning to everyone from this side of the world, and good afternoon to the other Pakistani friends, okay? Let me first thank our Italian ambassador, Dr. Andreas Ferrarese, and the ambassador of Pakistan in Italy, Dr. Saleem, and obviously all our Pakistani friends. Let me take the chance also to personally thank the president of Italian Trade Agency, Dr. Ferro, and managing director, Dr. Luongo. We are really proud and also, I would say, lucky to have people like you managing the Italian Trade Agency. It's only because people like you, professional, and I would say really pragmatic, that makes these things happen and make possible, trusting in our manufacturing industry. Thanks a lot. A special thanks has to be reserved to the National Textile University of Islamabad, here represented by Dr. Tanveer Hussain, that also cooperates strongly to make this technological center possible as well. He contributed a lot, pushing a lot in this initiative, so special thanks. As ACIMIT, we strongly believe in the training. Training is a tremendous and strong support to create the future generation of management that will run the Pakistani textile industry. So we really believe in this project, and we're really going to support it in the future, because certainly it will help to improve the whole Pakistani textile industry. Please. Let me briefly give some number, a small and quick picture about the reality of the textile machinery manufacturing industry in Italy. talking about 300 companies employing almost 13,000 employees, 2.3 billion euro sales. Out of that, 82% is exported all over 130 countries in the world. We may say that there is not a single country around the world without an Italian textile machinery. We basically have a 10% of the share, worldwide share on this specific field. Asia, as you may see in this slide, represent our main area destination for our machinery. And Pakistan represents an important part of this export, particularly in the last year and beginning also this year. Of course, China is the largest country, followed this year particularly by Turkey, but Pakistan is improving, is getting back to data that we already got in 2-3 years back. The first 6 months of this year, our export raised up to 36 million euro. And the year is not close, and from the data I got recently, in the last quarterly, probably will bring up at higher value compare, I would say, 2019, probably also 2018. We have a very strong cooperation, a strong link with the Pakistani textile industry, and they are doing quite well, and we are happy to cooperate with them. Particularly in this last period, the export of our machinery has interested mainly the finishing and the spinning. Okay, this project that we are supporting and talking about today is focused on particularly on denim, and the finishing of the denim is something that is belong to the Italian culture and knowledge, and so becomes very important for the future. After giving you this brief presentation about some numbers that they are due, it's important that you are also made aware about the reality. Italian textile machinery organization represent the third largest manufacturer system in the world. So apart the quality and the technology, so we are also quite important and big in the world. Let's come now to probably the most important point that our Pakistani friends, they are waiting from us today. As ACIMIT, we made, let's say, a schedule, a plan about what we want to do in the next 2 years. Consider that we have similar policy in other technological centers that we set up in the last year, particularly one in Vietnam and one in India, that we are really glad to say they are working very well, always with the support and cooperation of our Italian trade agency. And we have other in the pipe, one particularly in Mongolia, the other one in Peru coming soon, and then obviously Pakistan. This is the subject of today. So our idea is to organize, as you may see on this slide, 10 training days managed by our associate. They have participated in supplying the machinery in this training center. I'm talking about a company called Brongo, Tonello, and Triveneta. This is the brand that you may see on the machine inside this technological center. As you may see from this slide, this is something really, really important. We started many years back. We developed these really detailed and technical books. They are translated in many languages. A lot of university, textile university around the world, they are using these books. And then we want to make also this available in your university. It's something very important. We are now updating. As you may see, we are covering the complete chain of textile, spinning, knitting, non-woven, weaving, finishing. It's covered the complete chain of the textile. And they are really, really helpful, either for students and for professors. We have another important, let's say, standard that we do usually. That is something that makes the student, the professor, more close to our reality. We organize always, I really sorry if I keep underline that our strong cooperation with Italian trade agency, because of them, their support make all these things happen. We organize these Italian Technology Textile Awards 2021. That basically we are going to award students and professors, and as a, let's say, premium of this kind of award, we are bringing these people in Italy and giving them the opportunity to visit one or more company specifically in this field for which we made this technological center, so they can see and touch directly the Italian technology. So how we make this machine and how these machines are running here in Italy. So it's very important to exchange also this kind of knowledge and experience. Obviously, this is a project that we have normally when we set up this project, then we are going to keep it and make it. 5 technology webinars on different sectors of the complete textile chain. So based on spinning, weaving, knitting, finishing, and also on garments. This is part of the project that we are thinking for the next 2 years for this technological center. Besides, we obviously, as we do, and we've done already with other center, we organize also finally a mission of total of 25 people, including obviously also some professors and entrepreneurs directly from the textile industry based in Islamabad area. So we will organize all, let's say, this trip together, and we'll bring these people in Italy, and then they will share this interesting experience visiting the most important company we have here in Italy. This is another important point, is the last one of the proposal and the program that we made, technology seminar at the National Textile University. We hope, we are confident next year this pandemic situation slowly will be over, and we will organize a seminar managed directly by our associate, by our company, directly at the National Textile University. Normally around 10, 15 companies that usually participate to this kind of seminar, covering the most important field of the complete textile chain. And it will be interesting because all the textile industry, together with the professor and the students that will participate, it's very interesting because it's a moment of exchange of knowledge, and also is a transfer of technology and knowledge that we make to the textile industry. It's important that in order to achieve what is our goal of in this technological center, that we keep a very close exchange of information during the development of this center and during the use of the same. It's very important that in between us and the university itself, there is a constant exchange of information time by time to see if what we did is exactly what is the expectation and if it's the right things to support the textile industry. So step by step, time by time, we want to follow up, we want to send the data. If there is anything we have to adjust, we are able to do. So it's very important. For this reason, we request to the National Textile University to provide, let's say, maybe every 6 months, or if it's possible, even by quarterly, what is going on, what is the improvement, if there is anything that we can do to support you better. And this is part of our cooperation. We really believe in this. It's something really important because only in this way we can grow up the next generation of managers of the Pakistani textile industry. I think we have a lot of work to do, and let's start. This is the opportunity. This is the day to start, and we'll certainly cooperate strongly together. Let me also thank Dr. Scarpa, because I don't know you, and I hope to have the opportunity to meet you. We are planning to be there in late January, and let's say confidentially and personally that a person smiling like you just, let's say, express a lot of positivity.
Grazie.
Us really proud to have an Italian representative like you in Pakistan, and make us to make more effort in this direction to support. Thanks a lot.
We will, President Zucchi. Really, I was following you with great attention. So that's why I was smiling, because I was confident when I was listening to your words. You talk about how important is the training of the trainers. And this is a real investment in the medium long term, and how important is to share the experience in Pakistan. But thank you for reminding to everybody here, also in Italy. So the idea of the sponsored delegation to visit the associated of ACIMIT in this case, or ASSOMAC, or tomorrow other sectors, is very important to see how the things happen in that specific geographical area, which are the Italian districts and clusters, which are quite an economic miracle that cannot be simply copied in any other parts of the world. So, okay, the cooperation, okay, the training, but must be always a win-win activity, of course, and ready to do more together with ACIMIT. You mentioned also your partner in this project, in this technology training center, which is the National University of Pakistan in Faisalabad, that is hosting the training center. So I don't know if Mr. Tanvir Hussain is the rector of the textile engineering at this university, can intervene now, and then talking about the perspective. Then we will have Mr. Ijaz Kokar, Chief Coordinator of Pakistan Ready-Made Garments Manufacturer and the Sporter Association. So the last 5 minutes about this perspective and about your partner. Who want to start first? Mr. Tanvir or Mr. Kokar? For us, is the same. Maybe the National University of Pakistan, which is the partner of ACIMIT. Please.
Mr. Tanvir, Dr. please go ahead.
Okay, sir. Thank you. Thank you.
Gentlemen, great gentlemen, please.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Good afternoon to everyone in Pakistan and good morning to everyone in Italy. First of all, thank you very much for inviting me on this webinar. It's a well-known fact that textile is the backbone of Pakistan economy, and the share of textile and clothing exports is more than 55%. Italy is the 9th largest importing country from Pakistan, with annual imports of more than $800 million. And Italy is also the 13th largest exporting country to Pakistan, with an annual export of more than $900 million. Machinery, of course, is one of the major Pakistani imports from Italy. As far as textile machinery is concerned, overall, Pakistan imported machinery of worth around $700 million from around the world during last year, out of which textile machinery of worth around $80 million was imported from Italy. So it's $80 million out of $700 million. I think there's a huge scope of increasing textile machinery import from Italy, because Italy makes some of the best machines, especially for textile knitting, denim processing, printing and finishing, etc. On the other hand, Italy imports textile and clothing worth of around $26 billion from around the world, and just over $500 million worth of textiles from Pakistan. So just $500 million out of 26 billion. So again, there is a huge potential of increasing exports of Pakistani textiles to Italy as well, especially in ready-made garments and home textiles. National Textile University is the oldest and the largest institute of textile education and research in Pakistan, and more than 90% of technical professionals working in textile industry are graduates of this university. So the university offers bachelor's levels, master's level, and PhD level programs covering the entire textile value chain, ranging from polymers, fibers, spinning, weaving, knitting, dyeing, printing, finishing, textile design, fashion design, garment manufacturing, textile management and marketing, etc. Previously, in our labs, we had machinery from countries like Japan and Germany, and now the establishment of Italy-Pakistan Textile Technology Center at National Textile University will be extremely helpful, not only in marketing the Italian machinery in Pakistan, but also for producing better trained technical professionals for the Pakistani textile industry, producing more value-added innovative products through R&D, enhancing mutual trade between Italy and Pakistan, strengthening the bilateral ties, etc. In this regard, I am extremely grateful for the kind beneficence and generosity of the Italian government, especially the associations of the Italian textile machinery manufacturers, Italian Trade Commission, and especially their Karachi desk for their unstinting support for the successful implementation of the project. I'm extremely thankful for the support of Ministry of Commerce and Economic Affairs to be in Pakistan, and especially His Excellency, the Ambassador of Pakistan to Italy, and His Excellency, the Ambassador of Italy to Pakistan and their teams. I would like to express my special thanks and gratitude to the President, ACIMIT, Association of Textile Machinery of Italy, for offering 10 days training program in Italy for our teachers and professors, and announcement of Italian Technology Textile Award. In addition to having 5 technology webinars or seminars and a mission of 25 people to Italy. I think Italy has a huge expertise, especially in high-end fashion apparel, and we have a lot to learn from Italian experts. And these training sessions from Italian experts will be extremely helpful for training our trainers. In the end, I would like to recommend that a full-fledged Italian Trade Commission may be established in Pakistan to further enhance the Italian-Pakistani bilateral trade. Thanks a lot. Thank you very much.
Thank you to you. It seems to me that I just heard someone else saying that. I'm joking, of course. Yes, thank you for repeating this. This request actually is one of the question for Presidente Ferro. Quindi, Presidente Ferro, soon after Mr. Jauhar, we have a question for you. But please, let's go with the Pakistan Ready-Made Garments Manufacturer and Exporter Association and his Chief Coordinator, Mr. Jauhar. Please.
Yes, good morning to all my Italian friends present in this webinar, and greeting from Pakistan. I very much appreciate the efforts of our ambassador, Mr. Jauhar Saleem, and the ambassador of Italy in Pakistan, and Mr. Carlo Ferro, who organizing this sort of seminar first time, which is really would be a milestone in the future for the growth of mutual trade. I must appreciate your efforts, sir. And also I like to extend condolence to the Italian human loss during the recent COVID. We really sorry for that, and we wish that it should not be happen again, and you people stay safe. Regarding the textile, as a Prigya, we Pakistan Ready-Made Garment Association is the woven garment producer in Pakistan. Here I will give you a little brief on the textile, mostly about the garment, home textile, and knitwear. So Pakistan apparel export overall is around 6 billion, which is not very much. Actually, we are due to the, low-end items, we need to create the high fashion technology to fetch the more value in that. At the moment, if I see the Italian Pakistan export to Italy, the main export is a homeware, home textile, which is around 134 million US dollar. And second largest is the denim, Denim is a main product in a woven garment industry. We want that denim should to be improved by adding the fashion, like I see during my travel when I see the Italian made denims which are being sold more than 200 euros. I wish that that sort of designing and fashion we should adopt to enhance the value of our garment industry. At the moment, you see, the mostly our industry, garment industry, is working on the OEM basis. That means that this is the original equipment manufacturing. This is the design and all the material and all the technology by these buyers. We want to enhance to the ODM, which is the second original design manufacturing. This is the second grade. We can add up by the improving the enhance the designing technology in our garment industry. The third, our dream is that our industry should work OBM, original brand manufacturing, that they should to produce the garment with their own brand, with their own design, and on the requirement of the buyers, you see. For this purpose, we are very much looking for, because Italy is one of the top 3 fashion generated country. I mean, all the fashion in the garments, you see, Italy is a very high-end producer of designing. We are looking for the technology center, I mean, design center in Pakistan to enhance the garment value addition. For this purpose, I will listen the presentation of Mr. Zucchi. As you have established the technology center and textile technology center, footwear technology center, there is a dire need in Pakistan to create the fashion technology for the industry. This center must be produced. We, PROGRAMMA Pakistan Ready-Made Garment Association, we already established a ADRC center, which is the Apparel Design and Research Center in Pakistan. This is the first center for the industry. Main purpose of this design center is to render the service to the SME sector especially, because they cannot hire a high designer in their factory. The big company, vertical unit, they can engage a fashion designer. I mean, they have a other facilities, they can create design. But for the SME sector, which is the 90% strength of Pakistan, involved in the textile sector, in the apparel sector, they need to enhance their export by adding more design in that. So this is the one sector we are very much looking for, and as Italy is the very high-end fashion producing garments country, so we want that some technology transfer to be center to be established in the Pakistan Ready-Made Garment Institution, like you established the Textile Technology Center with the National Textile University. I think this would be a good idea, because technology is the main key to enhance the business, you see. If technology will come, the product will develop up to your standard, up to European standard, and ultimately the business will grow. And in the return, Italy can sell the raw material. Like many brands, they are sourcing from China. They are sending their own material over there. I mean, I remember the factory I have seen, they were producing Armani suits in China. they were using the fabric from Italy and they were manufacturing over there and then they were exporting. So these sort of opportunity our industry are offering, that if somebody come with such a type of collaboration, JV, we are ready to, I mean, just in a technology, we can offer a 80-20 collaboration. I mean, not a 41-51, if somebody is not interested to invest such a big money. So we can offer the joint venture on a 80-20 collaboration, 20% Italian, 80% Pakistani. And second option is that we also offering the joint venture with the working capital only. That being the building and land would be part of the Pakistani entrepreneur. So these are the main interest. I think if you highlight these sort of the suggestion to the Italian manufacturer, they will do. The machinery side, you see, Italian machinery is the #1 choice in Pakistan, but there is no garment machinery, no sewing machines from Italy. So we have to use the Chinese machinery. But there is a lot of parts. I give you an example. I mean, the Italian mechanical industry is very high, very professional. They can establish a needle manufacturing unit in Pakistan, sewing needles, you see, which are being used in millions. So that is a lot of parts, machinery parts, sewing machine parts that can be produced in Pakistan. So this will be ultimately, I mean, the raw material will come from Italy, or machinery, main machinery will, Italian manufacturer, they can sell the machinery, and we also have a competitive parts available here. So in that case, I think we should continue this sort of interaction with you people. We are very much willing to have a physical meeting when the situation comes normal, when the travel is open. We are ready to, if you are visiting, we will invite you. And in return, we can pay a visit to you. There are a lot of opportunity, and especially when the CPAC is, getting operational. As our Board of Investment Secretary, she mentioned that there is not only Chinese people, any company can participate in that zone, which are the very, 10-year tax holiday and other incentives. So Pakistani company also can be collaborate with you, with Italian companies. So these are the options. First, I think the main our objective is that we should enhance the garment business. We want to jump in, we want to upgrade our industry for the casual wear. And after that, we want to go in a high-end fashion garments like suiting. These are the, we have a very good manpower. Our factories are fully equipped and fully compliant, you see. There is no any factory which is BSCI or SA 14,000, 80,000, all the factories, even our factories are, I must say, it is better than Chinese factory. I visit a Chinese factory, but our Pakistan factory are much higher standard, and our labor is, they are very happy, they are fully, protected. So there is no any slave labor like other countries they have, you see. So Pakistan is the, I think, best next place for the replacement of industry. And especially, there is one big opportunity in Pakistan. We have
last minute, if you don't mind, because we want to give the floor to the question. Please.
Last 1 minute.
Please.
In Pakistan, we are lacking in a dyeing and processing industry. Our weaving industry is quite enough, spinning is quite enough, but we are lacking minus 30% in the processing industry. I know many processing industry in Italy and Germany, they are closed due to the environmental factor. So if they can switch that company to Pakistan, I think they can grab a lot of business, which is especially in the processing. We need to have a more 30% more processing company we need to establish in Pakistan. So many Chinese companies coming, but we are interested that Italian companies, if they establish their closed unit, they bring out to Pakistan, it is a great opportunity. I think this is also a very good opportunity for the both countries to win-win situation.
Grazie, Shukriya. Very clear, very clear. Sorry, we're a little bit short of time, also because now the questions are arriving. You already answered to one question of Mr. Paulo Pereira that was asking information about footwear, textile industry, not only, but specifically on ready-made garments. So we will put you in contact for in-depth answers to him also, as well as we thank even the college from Multan, staff college from Multan, and also from UK. They are connected and they are asking to ACIMIT something about also testing services. So we will forward to you, to the association, all these questions, as well as also each will reply. And for example, Mrs. Porro, Georgina, thank you very much, because you shift the attention on another sector which is very important, and it's one maybe of the next following sector of cooperation between Italy, a sustainable country with sustainable technology, with green technology, and Pakistan, because from Florence, Mrs. Porro say they are from Depurazione Industriale, said that she is interested in developing collaboration with Pakistan counterparts in the treatment of industrial wastewater and its green recycling, recovery, and reuse. For sure, for example, the people from ASSOMAC and the PFME should be very interested in this, considering that we know very well that it's one of the challenges of this industry, but not only this one. Sorry if I selected one question for Presidente Ferro. I call you back, Mr. President, because there is a quite wide questions that should resume also the different sectors on which Italian Trade Agency is ready or will be ready to prove the possibility to improve such a kind of new promotional paradigm, as the ambassador said. And the question is more or less this one. Also, according to the new Patto per l'Export, is written by the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, which other kind of activities each Italian trade agency can do to help SMEs, specifically in terms of training. So for training, any specific program or project for example, digital or export manager, please, Presidente. I don't know if you unmute your microphone, please. I can't hear you. No. Oh, ok. Maybe right now. Pronto? Io non la sento in questo momento. Però resto a Viale List, se non vi dispiace. I stay on Viale List in Rome because our General Director Luongo maybe should reply on about this question. And I give to you, Director, the closing remarks. And I'm really sorry because it's like 120 minutes right now, 2 hours that we are talking about, and we were 101 participants. We just lost 2 participants. So this means that all the people connected since the beginning stayed with us. They are interested in this, but we cannot go ahead for 1 more hour. So please, the more you can answer, the better. Director Luongo, closing remarks for each Italian trade agency. Prego, Direttore.
Grazie, Amedeo. Thanks, Amedeo, and thanks to all the participants from the Pakistani side and Italian side. It's a great pleasure for me to be as Director General of the Italian Trade Agency today with you, because we established with the Ambassador Saleem a few months ago a contact to do something to revitalize the relations between Italy and Pakistan. Today is a great pleasure to have also the Ambassador Ferrarese that is working very hard to promote the relation, the economic and commercial relation between Italy and Pakistan from different point of view. And this one of this point of view is the industrial cooperation and the technological center for leather and textile sectors. And this is very, very important for us because this cooperation is very important because the majority of our export towards Pakistan and the majority of our imports from Pakistan, it means your export towards Italy, are coming from products and machineries that are today we are talking about. It's very important for us because today I've heard several things, how to revitalize and how to reinforce such kind of cooperation. And we will see with also the cooperation Ambassador Ferrarese, if it will be possible, is to answer the first question that I have heard mostly 1 hour ago about the opportunity to have an office open to a full office in Pakistan. I hope that with the help of Mr. Ferrarese, with his colleague in Farnesina, Ministry of Foreign Affairs, we will succeed to open such an office there. And after that, we will see where to open it, because it's very important to reinforce such kind of relations, and the presence of ICE there, the Italian Trade Agency, it's very important from several points of view. And today we have seen this with the two training centers are a symbol of what we can do there, but not only the cooperation that can derivate from this, from such kind of cooperation. I think that there is a important remarks that I would do it, and a few minutes ago I've heard from one speaker that was talking about, and now I don't remember exactly. I was looking him on the screen, but now it's faded out. That Pakistani industry is updating its system, its industrial system. Because Italy, I would say to all the Pakistani authorities and also to the ambassador of Pakistan in Italy, Italy should and could assist from several points of view the Pakistani industrial system to develop itself, to become one of the most important players in the new wave of industrialization of Asia. And what we can do is this, Italy, and today we have textile and the leather sector that are, let me say at peak, they are at highest level possible. For one thing that today I've heard, but not heard enough, that is the green way to work and produce textile and leather. This is something, because I've read something that say, okay, sorry, but the Italian machineries are very costly. They cost a lot. We have to spend a lot of money to buy the Italian. Yes, maybe, could be. I don't know if it's true or not. But one thing I have to say, they are the greenest machineries and technologies that you can reach and you can get from all over the countries in the world. Because Italy has such capability to produce technologies, machineries, products that are the greenest that in the world you can find. And this is something that is very important. And I hope that very soon we will have the opportunity to meet each other, to see in Italy during some occasion, for example, the most important exhibition in the world for the textile, leather, etc. We will invite you to be there, because with Mr. Zucchi and Mrs. Bocca, we will be very proud to invite you to be there, to look not only during the exhibition, but during a tour, guided tour towards the Italian company, how we can capable and able to produce products like leather products, shoes, bags, apparel, clothing, whatever is related with these two sectors at such highest level that I cannot say that you cannot imagine, but at least that you should imagine because it's something that will help your system, your industrial system, to become one of the most important in the world. Is already one of the most important, but to overcome some other countries, maybe there are countries very close to you, they are utilizing their machineries or some machineries like the Italian machineries, but not at the highest level of production. This is what I would say. And also I would add, in answering to the question that Amedeo raised before, that during this pandemic crisis, we are utilizing also systems like this. It means webinar, B2B, virtual B2B. This is something that I would say to the Ambassador Ferrarese and Ambassador Saleem, to help us to reestablish or to continue to reinforce this economic relation and commercial relation with Pakistan. I was talking with Ambassador Saleem a few months ago that maybe aside of this seminar, we are ready to organize a country presentation about Pakistan, which are the other possibility offered by the cooperation between Italy and Pakistan. And I'm sure that with cooperation of all of you, we will succeed and we will have an increase of our export in Pakistan. They are still, from my point of view, still limited. The total bilateral trade relations are still limited. 1.5, 1.4 billion is not enough. Let me say that it's not enough. Pakistan is a huge country, is in a very advanced country for several sectors where Italy can be an important partner. Please, I'm asking you to be very concrete. Explore the opportunities with Italy. Contact the Italian companies. Work with Italian companies. And don't say that it's only a question of price. It's not a problem. It's not a problem of price. I'm sure that the Italian producers, manufacturers of machineries there will be able to find the right ways and to cope with you. Thank you a lot, and thank you to everybody to participate to this event, and thanks again to our office and Amedeo in Dubai. And I hope that next time we will have the office in Pakistan. This is my prayer.
Commitment.
For the next month. Thank you so much. I don't know if Amedeo should say something.
Just to say thank you, everybody. Grazie, Director Luongo. You also replied to someone that is asking, what about other possibilities in other business fields? I think about pharmaceutical, we talk about green sector. You talk about a possible upcoming country presentation in Italy, why not? And we should touch also other points such as the questions about the public tenders. RCM SPA is working in Pakistan, is touching this point, which is a sensitive point. So many things to discuss about it still. So please, I ask to our support to save all the questions arrived, so we will reply. If you want to continue to ask, we have to close the live streaming, but please send email to karachi@ice.it. And last but not least, as Dr. Luongo said, as Director General said, thanks to all the speakers, thanks to everybody, thanks to the people that were under the light today. But I want to say thanks, a special thanks to the one that are not under the corner lights or the lights corner bell. So Ufficio Collaborazione Industriale in Italy, in our head office in Rome, my colleague Roberto Lovato and Claudio Bertinetto, thank you very much for your effort. And of course, my team in Dubai, specifically guided by Deputy Director Alessandro Lamura. Last but really not least, the two pillars that we have, the two pillars and pillars that we have in our desk in Karachi, engineer Abdul Rahim Daudpota and also Kurram Mumtaz. Grazie, shukriya everybody, and see you soon.